Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. Boy, a night in Nashville just solves everything for the Edmonton Oilers, doesn't it? Music City, the Oilers just love it. A 5-1 win, 5 even-strength goals on their first night without the captain in the lineup. Welcome to Got Your Back live stream post-game edition. I am coming at you from the Adrenaline Diesel studio here in Sherwood Park, Edmonton's premier heavy-duty diesel truck repair shop specializing in powertrain tuning performance parts sales. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. We got Jason Strudwick ready to join us tonight. We got Steve Taylor at the controls in Kelowna. Our show is always brought to you by Play Alberta, our title sponsor, the official gaming partner of all the major Alberta teams. Whoever you cheer for, Play Alberta is cheering you on. Bet on your favorites. Get in on odds boosts and make game time more interesting. Deposit today. Get a $50 free bet with code GYB10. Visit playalberta.ca. Struds, how you doing, pal?
Good. Busy day at home handing out candy. Well, handing out and eating in equal parts.
Oh, did you dive in hard, bud? Did you just let her buck on a night like tonight? You don't worry about it?
Yeah, I was, yes. Yeah, exactly. There was little thought given to calories but I was pretty active today knowing that this was coming tonight, right? All my family's out. It was just me and the dog. So I'd pre-planned, didn't eat a lot. And so I just pounded Aero bars. I'm going to turn into an Aero bar.
That's your bar, hey? Is the Aero? That's the white one, right? With the little bubbles in it?
Yes, yeah.
That's your jam, hey? The Aeros.
Love it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a crispy crunch guy for sure. Like I eat them a little weird, like the little mini crispy crunches. I suck all the chocolate off, so then it's just the nougat, and then I just kind of crunch my way slowly through the nougat. I'm kind of addicted to as we've discussed many times on the show, Struds. I'm a big texture eater. Like yes. I that's okay. Your camera's a mess there. I really focus on the texture of something almost as much as the taste. So really, it's about the way that it eats as much as it is. What's going on with your camera?
No,
okay?
I set the mood. I try to set the mood in here. Like, I have a candle and I'm trying to light, I forgot to light. I always light the candle before the show. I like the smell. I'm like the ladies.
Well, we can wait.
Movie? No, I can do it midstream, but I knocked over by accident. So I'll get it straight.
Oh, okay. So your camera's all over the place.
It is.
Yeah. So, by the way, we're going to get into the Oiler game here. There's lots to talk about tonight. So just indulge us a little bit here. It's Halloween, and we've been talking food lately. So I was talking to you before about how I was like, doing a little bit of like fasting, sort of going some longer distances between meals. I've kind of been trying not to like panic every time I get hungry. I have to tell you, Struds, it actually... once you break through even just a little bit, you actually kind of feel pretty good. Like I'm the kind of guy when I'm hungry, I get really grumpy and I get sad and I go cupboard surfing. That's just always been my thing. And I've pushed through that this last week and actually not had some bad results. And I did okay tonight on Halloween. Tonight was a big test. Good. I actually did not too bad, buddy. So like I have no idea where this is going. I'm sure I'll just turn back into an indulgent slob, but it's been a good few days.
Well, it's good. And I don't think you have to worry about 10 days, 2 weeks, 5 weeks from now. Just think about today and tomorrow. That's how I look about when I try to be physically active. I don't worry about if I can do it 3 weeks from now. I just worry about tomorrow. So in my mind, I build up when I have time to do whatever. And I think that's the best way. It's too far to look down the road 10 years from now. Let's just worry about 10 hours from now.
Yeah, no, I agree, bud. So I'll keep you posted on this because I know you're really concerned and worried about me. We are live on Twitter and on YouTube. We got some great comments coming in already. Just going to get to a few of them. Saber Cove says, I've got 2 candles going, Struddy. Dan Gracer says, I need to get my motion sickness pills now. Thanks, Struddy. For those of you who weren't watching on the stream, Struddy's camera was all over the place. Saber Cove says, still time to fail tonight, Rishaug. The night is young, yes. And there's a bucket of Halloween candy sitting in the other room over there. What else we got going on tonight? So brave, says Davin, talking about me and my pushing through my hunger. So thanks for that. But the one I really liked tonight, Struds, was the first comment from the first person that was on the stream tonight was JL. He said, did Chris Morris give the pregame speech? Oilers came out flying. Of course, talking about Chris Morris, the new president of the Elks. I was at his press conference today. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show, Struds, but I know you saw it. I was there today. Yeah, man, it was like he was giving a halftime speech in there.
He is a really, really incredible guy. And I've been fortunate enough to have been around him a few times, and I'll share more of my thoughts about him later. But he is, there's something about this man that when you're around him, like if you were around him daily, Shogger, you might not ever eat again. That's how much willpower he would put in you. He would put that much willpower inside you that you would never eat again.
we were at that press conference today, buddy, and like Trent Brown was there, right? From James H. Brown and Associates. Yeah. He's an alumni, right? He's as passionate as it comes. And Morris is in the middle of saying his stuff, and from the back of the room, you just hear, "Woo!"
Yeah, I heard it.
That's inspiring. He just went off at the back of the room, man. It was funny. So, and you could tell, like, and we'll talk more about this later. You could tell everybody that worked for the team, everybody that is tied to the team in any way, was just vibrating. Like they were just ready to run through brick walls. Here's a tiny little snippet if you missed it. Just going to give you a little snippet.
I promise you, the revolving door is over. The revolving door that's existed at every level of this organization, from the president's office to the players on the field, where you've got 10,000 extra lockers in here because the beginning of the year, you got to cut 10 guys after 5 weeks, after 3 weeks, that is now over.
So he made some hefty promises about things that are going to change. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. For now, let's get to breaking down a hockey game brought to you by our Alberta Ram dealers. The Cross Canada Clearout is here with the biggest deal of the year. Get 10 grand in discounts on 2024 Ram 1500 DS Warlocks only at your Alberta Ram dealer. What a fantastic looking truck. So with Connor McDavid out of the lineup, Struds, everybody needs to pick it up a little bit. Everybody needs to do their share. There's nobody that can replace Connor McDavid. Oh, unless Leon Draisaitl decides he's going to have himself a night. And then he's one of the only guys on the planet that can. And tonight, I think, was a statement game from Leon Draisaitl to the Oiler fan base and maybe his teammates. And, hey, I got this one tonight. We're going to be okay. Very steadying from 29 tonight, Struds.
You know when I could tell? The first shift. First shift, that line came out flying. And there's no doubt that his line mates were buzzing as well. But the first shift, he came out and he just said, no, this is not going to happen. We're not going to fall over. I think everyone around the league is probably wondering, okay, what's going to happen? The team hasn't come out to a great start to the season. A lot of their players haven't been to the level we've seen in the past. And Leon's like, no, we're coming out tonight and we're going to set the tone early. And they did. And that line, including Leon, led by Leon, not including him, led by Leon, was tone setting all night. And he was by far the best player on the ice tonight. Not like Stamkos, I know he's out there. Marchessault, I'm not sure what number he is. Forsberg was probably the best player for Nashville, at least forward. But he was like, this is our night, and got him back to 500, which I think is important, Shogger, to think about this. Just like I suggested with the way you're going to eat, the Oilers can't worry about 10th game. Let's just worry about winning tonight and winning that first game. Takes a little bit of pressure off going into Sunday against a Flames team that, as of I think last night, have lost 4 of their last 5.
Yeah, some great points there. Here is here's my headline on Leon Draisaitl tonight. He was his best self in all facets of his game. So he played fantastic struts. But all of the little things that can creep into Leon Draisaitl's game at times when Connor McDavid is there, when you're the number 2 guy, you know, the frustration, the meandering back checks, the head in the air, the body language, the, you know, not keeping the legs pumping, all those little things that at times a frustrated Draisaitl can show. There is no time for that now. Absolutely zero time for that now. And there was not a smidgen of that in his game tonight. His legs were pumping on the back check. If a line mate gave it away, there was turned the other direction and skated back hard. There were stops and starts in his own end. Like, there was not a corner cut and not a smidgen of that other stuff that creeps into his game. He was his best self tonight in this game, start to finish, in every facet of the game, Struds.
When he's moving his feet like he did tonight, he's a lot to handle, because not only does he get up offensively, but he also gets back defensively. And there was a few times where he was back so quickly that I think Predator's like, where did this guy come from? And it gave the courage to the D-man of the Oilers to stay up. So yeah, he was fantastic tonight. The goal that he scored, his final goal, the change of tempo on, I always get his name wrong. Is it Shea? Brady Shea? The change of tempo. Like, Brady Shea was a massive signing this offseason for Nashville. Yeah. He and Leon skated around him like he was a tryout. He just changes speed, inside, outside, goes around, throws the short side on Jussi Soros. Like, that was, he made 2 really good players, really, like, Brady Schaefer, you don't know if he is who he is, people. He was a really good D-man, or is a good D-man. Really tough night tonight for him. And Leon, I keep saying Connor. Leon made him look very, very, very average, below average.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. It's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank if you're needing one. And Weiss Johnson's there for all your home comfort needs, specializing in servicing your existing systems or installing new ones. Get ready to be cozy this Oilers season. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com today. Jingle. Weiss Johnson, Leon Draisaitl post-game. Didn't love their second period, he said, but otherwise pretty good.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. I think in the second we got in trouble a little bit with turnovers, but nothing that they did necessarily. I think it was more self-inflicted a little bit, where we can be a little sharper, a little bit more mature. But all in all, I thought the third was great. Really good energy, really good game by us.
My good buddy Wayne Watson joining us on the stream tonight says, Ryan, you need to comment that the Oilers were a lot more physical tonight, and the fighting, it made a difference. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, thanks for that point, Wayne. 5 games with fights, 5 wins, Struds. We discussed this before. I don't know that you can draw a direct line between gloves hitting the ice and W's going up on the board, but I think it's a frame of mind that the team arrives in, and I think it's a frame of mind that when they play in that frame of mind, they're flat out better. And I know you think there was one guy that definitely brought that frame of mind to the game tonight.
There's a lot to unpack there. So let me start about the idea of when fighting. And the fights tonight for the Oilers, the Oilers did something that the other team didn't like, and they came
Great
back
point.
at.
Yeah, they initiated it through play, right?
Yeah. So let's go with the Emberson fight, right? Emberson has a hard hit in the corner, really hard hit, and overcomes Smith to fight him. That's great. You want that. You want people to react to you. When you're playing hard, not dirty, although I don't mind dirty sometimes, when you're playing hard and initiating contact, the other team responds to you. And you're always kind of a half step behind usually when you're the other team. So I love that play. I love that play. Same Paul Colson, same thing. That's the way it works, right? You want to more often than not have them react to you. But I mean, I thought Emerson was good today, but Paul Colson tonight, I saw what I think he can be. I believe his best game as an Oiler. I don't know what you thought, Sean, but I think it was his best game. Couple of reasons. The fight's nice. Like you love that. People see that. He's a big, strong guy. And I was communicating with some people in Vancouver and said, he had a bit of a rough fight last year, got cut up pretty bad. And now, he's a little hesitant. Well, today he was not hesitant and put a pretty tough guy down on the ice. But what I loved is he understands his role beside Leon. And I think Leon's going to really like playing with him because Paul Colson did on the first shift we just talked about, that they were in the zone a long time. Then the puck goes to the wall. He goes, wins the puck battle. Does he try to skate himself? No. Where's 29? Where's the best player on the ice? I'll pass it to him. Then Leon passes it back door. You don't think Leon likes that? I mean, not that Leon doesn't want to go get the puck. Then coming out of his zone, Leon on the wall, Paul Colson's big, strong guy is holding the puck, and Leon low and slow come from so at sentiment you want to come from below the puck. And in the first period, it was automatic. Paul Colson was getting, he's like, where's 29? Oh, there he is. There he is. You know, the cross ice is fine, but when your centerman's there and he's coming below, you give him the puck. And to be fair, Skinner doesn't always do that. Skinner either wants to skate it or try to make a harder pass. When you have the best player on the ice skating 6 feet from you, you give him the puck. So honestly, Schauger, I think this one is a game where Leon's going to look around and say, hey, I like playing with this guy. And he's going to, because he helps Leon. Leon doesn't need you to help, feed him. You need him to get the puck, and then he'll feed you back or figure out it himself. He still scored 2 goals tonight? Really good game by Paul Colson. Really good game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Lots of love for Noah Philp on the stream here as well. I don't want to cut the conversation about Philp short. So we're going to deal with Noah Philp in the second segment because while in the big picture of the game, maybe not one of the top storylines, but we got to give this guy his due. So we're going to get to Noah Philp in our takeaways segment. I really like Pod Colson, Struds, because he's just, to me, he's kind of always the same out there. And his results vary. Some nights he's more effective than others, but the one thing you're going to get from him is he's going to move his legs, and he's going to be willing to go into the corners, and he's going to be willing to try and play the game with some physicality to him. I really like the fact that he brings that most nights, again, with varying results. But on a night like tonight, something good happens early, and then he's buzzing. Something good happened early, and he's feeling it, and he's buzzing. He still is a fairly young player, and when you get these little injections of confidence, it's amazing what it can do for a guy just on any given night, and enough confidence to turn to a guy and be like, yeah, I mean, he was the one that initiated with the physical contact. And then when Lauzon stepped to him, he was like, there was zero hesitation there at all. And then a bomb of a punch that kind of ended that scrap, Struds.
If you want to play, that half court offense, like the Oilers, they can score up the rush, but I think they need to really keep working that half court offense and have long extended shifts. Again, I'll go back to it. The first shift of the game are long extended shifts. You need heavy bodies to do that. They can win puck battles, and Paul Colson can do that. Arvidsson on the other side, not as big a body, but the guy's a junkyard dog, right? To steal Louis DeBrusk, the way he describes those types of players. So now you got Leon in this middle that's big and strong. You got Paul Colson on the other side that's big and strong and understands his role. And it's not easy to understand your role. You think that you have to do special things. You don't when you're playing with a player like that and you are a guy like Paul Colson. You work hard, win puck battles, and find 29, and he'll be happy to play with you. That's the truth. And I'm not saying he can't score. I'm not saying he can't do things. But tonight, Paul Colson didn't score, but he helped Leon. And if you were to get Leon with truth serum, he's like, yeah, I like that. He likes a skilled guy, a little more skilled guy on the other side. But someone has to get those guys the puck. That's what they want, man. They need that help to get that puck.
What do we got here? Quaddy says Podzilla was an animal tonight. CK Pond says Pods landed an old school Chuck Liddell style overhand right. LOL. Bobo Fett comes in with Oilers 20 hits. Hallelujah. Much harder game tonight. What else we got here? Yeah, bunch of love for Noah Philp that we'll get to. So what we did see, one more from Paulie here, Pods can lean on defenders. It's nice to watch. Very hard to physically contain while he's driving wide and cutting in. Shades of Jason Arnott. Well, that's pretty complimentary. But I agree he can be a lot to handle when he gets up to speed. Yeah, no, I agree with you there, buddy.
I think that's, I like the guy, but let's not start comparing him to Jason Arnott.
Listen. There hasn't been a lot for Oiler fans to be super excited about. We don't need to check them that much. Let them have 10 minutes here.
That's when I'm here to bring them back to reality, because you have to be careful. Like that is because you know what happens in this market, in every hockey market, we build them up and then he doesn't become Jason Arnott and then he's not good enough. We just have to understand what his role is right now. His role, and I'd like to think that over time he can add, a little bit of more offense to his game. I think he was drafted on that, but right now he can't lose the message of what he is. And if I'm the coaching staff, I'm in his ear every day. You got to move your feet, get in there, be physical, win puck battles, and serve the puck to 29. That is your job. That is what you do.
So,
and I think he has to understand that.
You wouldn't be sitting him down and showing him tape of a old school Jason Arnott then? You don't think that's the next, that's the move for him?
I don't see him as that kind of player. I think
I know. I'm with you.
Let me think of someone I'd like to compare him to, but I just don't
give that some
I
thought.
Don't see that at all. Like, here's a guy just off the top of my head, Andrew Ladd. Like just skates, heavy body.
That's a good one. Not the prettiest stride on Andrew Ladd. No, wasn't the nicest skater.
Yeah, but that compliment
got there.
You play with good players, right? And but
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I think, let's think ahead of ourselves, but I think that there's something there. Like, again, I always think, what does the top player want? I think he'd like that. If you're Leon, like he's like, if the coach goes, do you want to play with him again? Yeah. Put it on me again. Put him beside me again.
Jerry Mancini says, I believe the Oilers watched Got Your Back after Monday night and listened to Ryan Rishaug. Thanks, Jerry. This team was very physical tonight. Like Ryan said last pod, just making that big check to set the tempo. Thanks for the love there, Jerry. That seems like an obvious one. When they play physical, there's a little more energy. Somebody's asking, does Shoggy's cup say I'm a queen? No. Randine, it says caffeine queen. Randine very nicely prepped a tea for me before the show, but maybe a bit of a better selection required on the mug, but caffeine queen.
Can I just make a comment really quick?
Yes,
just on the comment of Draisaitl. Draisaitl made a comment about, he said, we have to do a little bit better job with our puck decisions. I can't remember if it was the first or second. 6:23, I think it was of the second, but it might have been the first. Skinner gets the puck in the neutral zone, and he's carrying up towards the blue line, and he's unsure with what to do with it, and he tries to dangle at the opposition's blue line. The puck doesn't go deep. It comes back on their end, and everyone changes tech for him, and now he had a really extended shift in that.
Yeah,
that is what Leon's talking about. That is the play. That is not playoff hockey. That is no longer Oiler hockey. You get there, you've been out there even for 20, 30, 40 seconds. You're not dangling at the blue line. It's got to go forward. And that was, I think it might have been the first period, actually. 6:25, you want to go back and watch it. That is what Leon talks about. That is not their way anymore. And Skinner's got to learn that.
So we have not done a show since we learned the extent of Connor McDavid's injury. So let's just press pause on our game analysis here real quick and double back onto the news. As we reported right after the game, our sense was it wasn't going to be anything too serious. And now there's a 2 to 3 week timeline that is put on it, Struds. Anytime you miss McDavid, it's going to be difficult. You made a point, though, the night he got hurt. You predicted that this will be a catalyst for the Oilers that helps really firmly push them in the right direction. Somewhat similar to when Jay Woodcroft was let go last year, right? The shot in the arm, the slap across the face, the cold bucket of water over the head that the team needed, and that maybe McDavid being out could serve as the same thing. And I think it was a really smart prediction by you. And judging by what we saw tonight, not just by Leon Draisaitl, but by basically the entire team, they're off to a really good start, and that looks like a pretty good prediction.
Well, let's just look at what got going tonight. Leon had his best game of the year. Yeah. Zach Hyman scored. Arvidsson was all over the place. Paul Colson, we've already explained what he did. I thought Ekholm was strong tonight. Strong defensively, heavy and strong. Yeah. The power play, I didn't love the two D-men on it, but I don't want to be a negative guy here in this situation. Although it looked pretty good, the power play looked very good, but there was some steps in the right direction for some of the guys that maybe been struggling through it. So now they have a day off. Back at a practice Saturday, then a doubleheader. Calgary, New Jersey. Calgary's fading a little bit. New Jersey, I watched a bit of their game against Canucks the other night. Spanked them. The Devils spanked.
They're for real, man. They're like, they can go. Yeah.
That's not strong enough word. Spanking on a 6-0. They looked really good. So tough, but let's just worry about Sunday. Have a good practice Saturday. Worry about Sunday. If you get the win there, again, you're a little bit closer to Connor coming back, and it's not hurting you. It's not hurting you so far.
Tom Gazzola, by the way, reporting today that McDavid did some skating at the community rink. I can't confirm that or whatever, but Tommy knows his stuff. So probably a good sign, Struds, that if you're supposed to be out 2 to 3 weeks and a couple of days after the injury, you're out there in skates testing it out, a good chance that maybe it's closer to 2 weeks. And we'll see. You can always have setbacks and you never know how it's going to go. But I just think it's a good sign if he is already on skates.
I found as a player, sometimes you just wanted to see where it was at.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm guessing that he wasn't skating that hard, but you're just like, okay, how does it feel? Right. How does it feel? And so, doesn't mean to me, it doesn't mean he's like imminent to come back. We just want to know where it's at. Here's my concern though for him. I sprained my ankle before, when I was playing and, in the minors, and it took over a year for it to feel better. Now, everyone talks about how great a healer Connor is, and maybe is or isn't. But my concern is the lasting effects of that and what it can do for you. So, I think we got to be, because I didn't. Mitch Marner sprained his ankle last year, and I'm not sure it ever was right for him all year. So something to think about. I know I sound negative, but I think we have to just be aware of that.
Well, and Connor too, he's going to want to get back as fast as he possibly can.
Yeah.
But, if taking an extra week or 2 weeks or whatever, I don't know if it's a high ankle sprain, but we know those can be a nightmare to deal with. You feel great, and then all of a sudden, boom, and you're right back literally where you started with those high ankles. So with, you have to assume that McDavid they'll want him to err on the side of caution. It's going to make it a hell of a lot easier for him to take the time that he needs if this group is doing more than just surviving without him. If this group is turning itself around and playing well, then McDavid can take the time that he needs to get himself better, because rushing this one back probably wouldn't be a great idea. Okay, let's get to our Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by You Can Use Services. If you're looking for laborers for your business, You Can Use Services can help. They train 18 to 25-year-olds, getting them ready, willing, and able to join the workforce. Check out their Road to Work program at www.youcan.ca. Struddy.
It's easy. I mean, right off the first shift, the Leon Draisaitl. I mean, you get 2 goals and an assist. He's the guy. Paul Colson's right there. There's a few others that could have got it, but Leon was really good. The only thing I'd say, and it could have been better in the faceoff thought, but you know what?
Yeah,
he had himself. He was literally the definition of relentless tonight for 60 minutes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. His stats line, just to go through it here: 2 goals and assists, 3 points. He was +3, 19-20 of ice time, had 3 shots, 4 shot attempts, and was 6-13 in the faceoff circle for 32%. But he brought it early. He brought it often. He stayed on the right side of it. He was very much the true leader of this group tonight on all fronts. Just a fantastic night from Leon Draisaitl. Okay, Steve-O, why don't you hop in here, buddy? We're going a little bit off the board. Over to the CFL for our YouTube poll tonight, brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, helping you play better golf since 1999 with their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction, after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Check out their pro shop style atmosphere at 5311 99th Street here in Edmonton. How was trick-or-treating with the littles tonight, bud?
Yeah, it was good. It was it was fun. My older one, he's just off on his own. I didn't see him all night, but my daughter's 8. She's at the perfect age. So yeah, it was sweet.
What'd she dress up as?
She was Chloe from Descendants. I don't know if that would mean anything to you.
Nope, doesn't. I'm sure it was cute as can be, though. Cute as can be.
Adorable.
What do we got tonight, pal?
Okay, so the poll tonight. How do you feel about Chris Morris as the Elks' new president? And the 4 options are: great hire, I'm fine with it, I'm a bit nervous, or he's the wrong guy.
Okay. Interesting. Well, if you have a chance, I mean, wait till after the show is done, but go and listen to some of what he had to say in his press conference today as he accepted the job, because he was an energetic fellow, to say the least. Before we go to break here, Steve-O, you got that video ready?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me pull.
You got it ready? So Struds, how about Zuby, who we all know is as proud a house league goaltender as you'll ever find, just very subtly slipping this video into the chat today. Struds, you want to do some play-by-play? As this is the Got Your Back debut of Chris Sabunia playing net in men's House League C hockey, Division 12 in West Kelowna or whatever. Roll it, Steve. Struds, give us a little play-by-play.
I'm just trying to get it. I'm trying to get it on the screen. Hold on. Why is it?
Oh, okay. No problem.
First off, it's 11:30 at night. The game was 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Nobody watching. No one.
You know what I love? As we'll see the video, I'm pretty sure this is not video from a fan in the stands. I'm pretty sure the video we're going to see here is like security camera footage from the rink that I'm assuming Zuby had to seek out after the ice time. Like there had to be a camera somewhere in there. He went and asked security, do you guys have cameras? Any chance I can access the tape? Pulled the tape, transferred it, and sent it into our chat group.
You know what? Most rinks, they tape the men's league games, right? They have it's like a flow, what's it called, flow video or whatever they call it, because they guys want to watch it, but also if there's an incident, then they have it. So almost every, well, not almost, but pretty much every rink has constant video you can watch.
But even still, to go seek out the flow video guys and be like, hey, at 14:12 of the second period, I need like 30 seconds of tape there. Steve, you got it ready yet?
Yeah, here it goes.
All right. Zuby. Okay. There he is.
Zuby back there.
Behind the net, the D-man behind the net, looking for an open man.
Here comes a pizza.
Throws a pizza. Pepper. Flashes of leather. That is... What did the D-man see there? Like what more importantly, what did he not see?
Steve, one more time, man. One more time.
Okay, hold on.
Like we're going to call the D-man. Look at the D-man. He has complete control, brings it around that, no pressure at all. Throws a pepperoni pizza up the middle. At least it was on the tape. That's probably the only tape pass that D-man's made all year.
Probably the only one made that game. Oh, Zuby flashes
10?
The leather.
My favorite part
number
is
10 there?
Well, look at Zuby here. As soon as the puck goes beside the net, he's like, my job here is done. He puts his hand up. He puts his arms up. He's resting at that point.
He's resting on the net
here at the bottom. Why is he out there? Look at number 10 standing right in front of the camera. What is he waiting for? Is that Pavel Bure? Does he think he's getting an open shot?
Poor number 10. He has no idea.
Oh my goodness.
What is that guy? We got to get that guy's name. Call him out.
Yeah,
let's get him on the show.
For sure. I can't wait to have Zuby on the show tomorrow night when our next game to absolutely ground. But hey, he definitely played that up a little. Like he gave her a little windmill action there. That was a little like the Greatest Showman. Hey,
well, the puck was, you could tell it was so slow. I could read made in Finland as that puck was rotating. Like that was not a hard shot. Actually, the bad pass from the D-man was harder than the shot that Zuby had to save.
Oh my God. What do we got here? The man, the myth says Aiden. B Hoop says save. Gomez says, give him a business card, Struddy. I'm not sure what that one means. Neil Garrity asks, was that Kulak? I assume he's talking about the turnover because Kulak had a nasty one and an attempted clear tonight. Maverick says Darnell Nurse type play. Gorgeous save. Zuby says Jackie. Ronnie Oceanfront says, is that Tom Gilbert? I think he means that number 10 that was standing there. And Paulie says, okay, you can't argue this one. Zuby, shades of Rudy there. Love it. Great save,
Someone
Zuby.
find out who 10 is. I want a name. I want a name on number 10, not just first name, like his nickname. That is unacceptable, 10. I don't know who you are, but that was like...
Personal invite to the Jason Strudwick D camp next summer.
I can't change that. I can't change that kind of work ethic.
All right, that was a breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Quick break. When we come back, let's dive into Noah Philp's night, shall we? What a great night. His first National Hockey League appearance, picks up an assist. We'll dive into that. You got her locked on to Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
All right, time now for our takeaways, brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Did you know fall's the best time to buy a boat? It is. Take advantage of year-end pricing or pre-order a custom design. The team at Martin Motorsports will match you with the perfect boat, whether you're looking to wake surf, fish, or just chill on the water, man. Stop by Martin Motorsports so you're prepared for unforgettable memories on the water next summer. All right, Noah Philp. A little sooner than I think was expected, but gets the call up from the American Hockey League along with Drake Caggiula and gets into the lineup tonight. Struds, it was cool on the broadcast. They showed his family multiple times. What an amazing moment for them. I can only imagine what it's been like, to watch him endure what he's been enduring the last number of years, and then it all crescendos into this moment tonight. Struds, he's barely played any hockey for the last 2-3 years, and now he's skating out there fitting in the National Hockey League. What were your impressions of his game?
I think you nailed it, man. He fit in. He's a big body. He moves well, and what I liked about him was the poise with the puck. You look at the goal that they were scored. That was a really nice play from in Gretzky's office behind the net. And he finds, give Drake Caggiula credit. He finds some open ice in between the defenders in front of the Nashville's net. But Philp had the presence of mind to move to open ice. Perry passes over to him, and then he takes a second, finds the player, and passes to Caggiula. Caggiula has a great chance, doesn't score, but Perry's there to pick up the garbage. That's what the garbage man does. So, you know what? He had a good night. Was good in the draws. They used him quite a bit on offense. They usually start your fourth line kind of on the other end. But that line, I thought that line was effective. And usually the center has a big deal to do with that. So good start for him. And I think that there's a player there, and that's a good thing for the Oilers because they need some. I guess he's not young, but some cheaper players that can make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. Steve, let me know. I got a bit of buzz coming from my microphone. So I think, did that fix it there, Steve? I think you just had to tighten up the cable a little bit. We're good now?
I think it did. Yeah.
We're solid now. Okay, good stuff. Struds, there was one play that he made. I really liked it. Nothing resulted from it, but he got the puck and he was cutting up through the middle of the ice. And like you talk about poise, kind of skates with his head up. And as he crossed the red line, he sort of looked to his right and he saw Darnell Nurse streaking. So he flips a pass high through the air and sort of saucers it where Darnell Nurse can skate into. And it was a really nice kind of little area pass. And then I think Nurse grabbed it, and I think Nurse just sort of threw it on net or whatever. But Philp, he made that pass, and then he drifted off to the left into the open area of the ice, and he was cocked and loaded and ready for the one-time return pass. He was in perfect position for that. Nurse thought the better play was to shoot it on net, whatever. But I thought that was like a really composed, heady play. He's thinking give and go, a nice area pass, wants to let the shot go. Just little moments like that with the puck where you would think a guy that's played as little hockey as he had, that would be one of the last things to come back to your game is the confidence with the hands and the handling of the puck.
Yeah, but he's had a lot of practice time. He didn't play last year, but I think we're calling that. Let's call it hockey IQ, right? So if you have a hockey IQ like that, I don't think it leaves you, right? What does leave is maybe your speed or your hands or whatever. But the hockey IQ, we're talking about Philp having taken that year off, so the hockey IQ is in there. Those instincts are in you, honed, over years of playing when he's younger, outside, whatever he did. So that I think doesn't leave. What is impressive is he's able to keep up and his skating and his playing, all that after taking a whole year off. So yeah, I think, you know what, he did very well tonight, and I want to see him again. Let's give him another game, see what it looks like there again, you know, and he's going to write his story. If he can play like that, I mean, the first game is always pretty exciting. So, you know, at some point you realize you're in the NHL, but if he can play like that, I'm not sure that he's going to see Bakersfield again. You know, like let's just be honest.
Steve, grab that clip from Davin. I love this point that Davin is making here, and he makes a lot of good ones here on the show. Davin says, you know what I liked? They brought him up with someone who he's been playing with. I was surprised when they recalled 2 players, and I'm not suggesting that's the reason that they did this, like bring a line mate up with him so that he's comfortable. I'm not suggesting that's why. Definitely a residual benefit, though. And Drake Caggiula has been around this league. He knows how to play in this league. If he and Philp have been playing together in the American Hockey League, it's more speed on the line. It's a faster line because Caggiula's on that line. And I think it worked really well with Caggiula in there as well, Struds.
Yeah, and having some familiarity for sure, it eases that transition, right, to your first game. Yeah. And that's a really good point. But let's not discount the guy on his right wing. This played 10,000 NHL game. And I think we've got to be careful to, you know, create a legend around a player that, you know, hasn't played in the NHL very much the last couple of years when there's Corey Perry beside him. And I think I said this the other day, and I might be wrong, or correct me if I did, or didn't. But with Corey Perry there, Noah Philp and Paul Colden should be listening and working with him and watching him and doing all the drills he does before and after practice, because their game is the same as Corey's is now, right? That half-court offense, hold on to pucks, grind, find greasy ways to the net. And that, I'm not suggesting that's unskilled. I find that to be a very skilled game because you're doing things in very tight quarters at lesser speed. So, I think I'm going to look a little bit more to the right than I will to the left for what the support.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I do like the fact that it was a faster line with him there. I think I just like the pace that Caggiula plays at, and I think at times that line gets a little bit plodding. So if Philp is a good skater and gets around nicely out there, I thought it was a good look. But 100%, what a way to come into the league to have Corey Perry on your wing, have that guy sitting next to you on the bench. You know, I'm sure, you know, have the opportunity to chat with him before the game, whatever. But can we just discuss the story that is Philp, Struds, and how rare it is what he's done here? And when you have a story like that around your team, and Leon Draisaitl talked about him after the game too. Players are all aware of what this guy's been through. They're all aware of what a great story this is. You know, in some ways it's different, but Vinny Desharnais, when he first came up and made it to the NHL and had arrived at that later age and was living his dream, you know, you just feel like maybe guys that have been there for a long time, it just, there's a little bit of energy that a little buzz you can take off a guy like that that's feeling it that way. That has to be just some good karma and some good juju in that room that those players are feeling from him being there.
Well, your word you use is perfect. It brings energy to the room. And not that players have been in the NHL for a while take it for granted, but, you know, you're like, okay, I've kind of seen this, I've done this. And, you know, you're bringing in Skinner, who's been in the NHL for 1,000 years. The fact that he could get to his first playoffs, that's exciting. But a guy that's had let's call it a less than normal road to the NHL. And, you know, it's pretty amazing. And then the best part is he can help you win. Like, you know, that's the thing. He can help you win. So, you know, and just to go back to Perry, I guarantee before the game, Perry said, bud, let's just play in their end. Let's get it into their end. We want to drive it. We want to play below the top of the circles. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to hold on to pucks. And they did, and that's how they scored their goal. So, you know, lots of energy in that room coming off of him. And that helps. You know, Connor goes out, you bring a young guy with a story like that up. And even Drake Caggiula, who hasn't seen the NHL in quite a few moons.
10-4 in the face-off circle. I mean, that right there
it's good
will get a coach's attention. Like
good
that
day.
Right there, Struds. I mean, 100%.
Yeah. So let's say he does it. Let's say he plays the next 3 games and he's always above 50%. And there's a big face-off now. And they might look and say, okay, let's get this guy out here and see what he can do in a bigger moment. Can he? Because defensive, he's good. I was watching him today defensively. He communicates with the D-man in his own zone. He's aware. He's always shoulder checking, looking around. Good habits, really good habits defensively.
I'm going to give a little kudos to Chris Knobloch here because he found a way to get this line engaged. The first 6 minutes of that game, Struds, there was, the Oilers scored right away. Then there was a couple of power plays. I think there were power plays back and forth. I think Philp's first shift was, unless he squeezed a quick one in there, I think he was like 5-6 minutes into the game before he was on the ice. And then what Knobloch did is he went to the fourth line and they had a short shift. But then he actually skipped the rotation and got those guys out there again right away because he knew they'd been sitting on the bench. So now they're out on the ice again. And then what he did, there was a whistle. He kept them on the ice, but he wasn't 100% sure with Philp out there in the defensive end. So he pulls Philp and he throws out Adam Henrique for the draw. They win the draw, but instead of the line changing after the breakout, the fourth line stayed. Philp came back over the boards, and that's the shift that they ended up generating the goal. This was a conscious effort from Knobloch to engage his fourth line with a rookie on it that he knew had been sitting for the first 6 or 7 minutes of that game. I thought that was a nice touch by him on the bench.
I want to say after the first period, those three guys, they each had like 1, 2, or 3 minutes of ice time. Like that's pretty light. And they all ended up at 10 or close to it. So yeah. Now I know the game got a little bit out of hand at the end, but still, like he found a way to get him in. And that team needs to play 4 lines. They need to have that 4 lines rolling because everyone feels engaged. So yeah, I think Knobloch, give the guy credit. He's subtly, he really kind of gets guys involved in the game, and you want to feel that way as a player.
Yeah. So after a penalty kill, we would always see him go with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, sometimes Zach Hyman, right? He'd load up the big line. Tonight, he did something similar. He loaded up a big line after a penalty kill. He went Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and Victor Arvidsson coming out of a penalty kill, and that line ended up scoring. So same concept, subtle tweak of the line, and they ended up scoring there, Strud. So again, nice little touch there, throwing a line together, and I think they ended up playing together quite a bit more for the rest of the game. And we'll talk about Hyman in a minute. But again, nice little touch there from Knobloch.
Yeah, I was surprised actually to see he still goes to that after the penalty kill. And not that I think it's a bad idea. I just thought without Connor there, is it going to make
is get the bang for the buck, right? Yeah.
But he chose to do it, and give him credit. It was the right touch, and now those guys know, right? They kind of know that Arvidsson, although he's playing with Leon all the time, it's Hyman who's going out there, but now and so again, another little nice touch by the coach.
Yeah, for sure. Also have to give some honorable mention here. Zach Hyman gets off the schneid, and a fantastic pass from Darnell Nurse to make that happen. 2 important plays on the same play.
Yeah. No, and it's one of those moments where you got to respect what's going on out there and how the way the guys are playing. But now the challenge for them is to do it again. And because the first game without your star is one thing. The second, 5th, 10th game, that's where it gets a little dicier.
Mm-hmm. Good to see Hyman get one though, hey?
Yeah,
that was big.
I think so. It was, but I mean, he's been playing well, but it's important for them to have that happen. But it's that first game jump that the shock of whatever your situation is. And he got it done. There's no doubt, and he was going to come. It's not like he's been not around it. If I want to contrast someone else, Nugent Hopkins, I don't think he's had a ton of looks, a ton of chances compared to what Zach Hyman has. So I thought Hyman was always going to come. But now I think they got the next guy in the line, that's important to get going, Schauger, is the Nuge.
Yeah, 100%. All right, that was Takeaways brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Struddy, you got a scoreboard ready to go here, buddy? We will get to our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club in honor of the founding year of the Canadian Club Distillery. 1858, the all-new Canadian Club Classic. 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58% ABV for all you whiskey connoisseurs out there. The highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full bodied with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish. Neighbor Grant popped over the other day. Grant is the one that introduced me to the finer liquors out there. right? Helped me develop a palate and a taste. And Neighbor Grant gave 2 thumbs up to the CC Classic 18. Absolutely loved it. He stayed for 2. Normally I kick him out after 1, Struds. It was so good I let him stay for a second one.
I love it. I love it. Well, tonight there was 7 games in the NHL. Not a lot of games involving Western Conference teams. Earlier in the night, I saw the Hurricanes just dismantle the Bruins 8-2. Shots are 37-15. The Bruins look out of sorts. They don't look right now. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that can't continue. Maple Leafs, they beat the Kraken. I guess that's a team from out of West, 4-1. They controlled most of this in this game. And then the Penguins, 2 goals from Sidney Crosby, including one in overtime, beat the Ducks 2-1. So not a ton of games out east here that really made a difference, but for the Oilers, it's a good thing the Kraken lost.
Absolutely. All right, that was your scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. All right, when we come back, brownie points. Struds and I will come up with brownie points for tonight. And then Struddy's World as well as Ask Us Anything. Steve's been taking in all of your comments here on the YouTube stream, so look forward to that as well. Lots of show left. Stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
All right, time now for brownie points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Their world-famous jerky is located right here in Alberta using prime Alberta beef. Their jerky available in 14 tantalizing flavors, including that amazing sweet and spicy. Family-owned and operated since 1962. It's a great game day snack. And did you know it can be shipped to you anywhere in Alberta? That is Hamel's Premium Jerky. Okay, Struds, no Brownie on the show tonight, so you and I are going to pinch hit. There's no way that either one of us can replace Brownie because he's the expert at doing this. So between the two of us, we're going to try. We're going to alternate. I'll do one, you do one, I'll do one, you do one, back and forth and back and forth. Let's try and bring the energy. Let's duplicate this the best that we can. I will start tonight by offering 26 Brownie points to Calvin Pickard. That is the number of saves. Oh, no, wait a minute. I screwed that up.
Oh, boy. Oh, Brownie won't be happy.
No, wait a minute.
Brownie won't be happy.
This is not good. Okay, no. Yes, the Preds had 27 shots. That means Pickard had 26 saves. Whoo. 26 Brownie points for Calvin Pickard. A really good performance tonight on a night where there was a lot of focus on Draisaitl and Philp and new players and this and that. He did his job and was very steady in net tonight, and one great embellishment from him.
10 Brownie points for Cole Caulfield, has his 10th goal of the year. Ties of Nico Hischier, who had these 2 All-Stars leading the league in goals through, 10 games. So 10 for Cole Caulfield. Nice start for him in the Habs.
All right, I'm going to go 4 Brownie points for Darnell Nurse. That was the number of hits that he threw tonight. I like Darnell Nurse's game way better When he's got that thought process in his head, he's a much better player, much more effective, and there's a much better chance he's going to have a good overall night when he's thinking about throwing the body, Struds.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm going baseball. 5 brownie points, just 5, but big ones. 5 unearned runs for the Dodgers when they were down 5-0 to the Yankees last night in Game 5 of the World Series. It was, if you didn't see it, two errors and one just, I don't know what happened to the pitcher. Didn't go Garrett Cole didn't go to where he needed to go, but for those 5 runs tied it up, and then they would subsequently go on and win the game. But I've watched that game. I couldn't believe the details that defense lacked was incredible.
I just had a good idea. I think on nights where Brownie's not here, I still think you and I come up with a few. I think we open it up to the stream for Brownie points. I think during the commercial break before, we should let people chime in on the stream what they think Brownie points should be too. We missed an opportunity. We'll try and squeeze some in late here. So if you have any, like, for example, Shane Matheson says -5 points for Rishaug not being sure of his Brownie points. It's fair.
Agreed.
I will take the negative. Quaddy says, good start, Rishaug. Thanks, Quaddy. My last Brownie points awarded tonight are 91 Brownie points awarded to Matthias Janmark for making a goal-saving play on the goal line, stealing one from the clutches of number 91, Steven Stamkos. The defensive play of the night goes to Matthias Janmark and the 91 Brownie points with it.
That's good with me, buddy. We're just doing 5.
That's it.
I filled the middle.
I'm giving 1,000 Brownie points to Rishaug's golf simulator. That coming to us from none other than Ronnie Oceanfront. Adult film star Ronnie Oceanfront. What a handle that is. That was Brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Okay, Steve-O, roll the intro, buddy. Time now for Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
That is never going to get old. Time out for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, builder, DLR is the most reliable source for vinyl fence, opened in 2005.
Well, I just decided. Hey, everyone. Sorry. We lost you for a sec, Rishaug. 1 sec.
There, bud. You showing us your guitars?
Apparently.
Steve has never been in the box that big before. That was the biggest that we have on the show. Taking center stage there, buddy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, buddy. A couple of late Brownie points just before we move on to Struddy's World here. Where was the good one here? Oh, Gomez says 3 Brownie pints of blood. Lozon lost today. That was a pretty good one. Yeah. And Mike the Solo-cist says 0.00001 points for Zuby's save. Did not love the Chris Sabunia save. All right, Struddy, what do we got tonight, buddy?
We spoke earlier about the Elks, and that organization has been in a tough spot for quite a while now. They've had many different presidents. I think it was 5 in the last 8 years. And Chris Morris, former Elks player, former head coach of the Golden Bears, University of Alberta Golden Bears, for 12 years, is given this position. And I've known Chris a little bit. I'm not going to say we're best friends, but I've been around him a few times. And every time I walk away from him, I can't wait to go do something. I'm like, I'm going to climb a mountain, or I don't know if I'm going to lift this car over my head. But he pushes so much energy into people and passion. And you can see by his press conference today how much passion he has about this job. He said in the press conference that there's one job he'd leave the U of A for, and that was to go to this job with the Elks. And you could tell he's a very honest person. You can tell that he's going to tell people, challenge them, let them know how he feels, and make sure that it's done the correct way. And that's the Elks way, or they used to call it the Eskimo way. But I'm very excited to see what he can do. And I would have loved to play for a player like him, or a coach like him. I know he's not the coach, but to have someone at the very top directing everyone to figure that out. So I think this is a great hire by the Elks. Somebody who knows the city, who's from the city. We've had so many people from outside the city come in that position that I don't understand. But I think there's a really good opportunity for him to do something special. It's not going to change overnight, Schauger, but I think that over time he's had success where he's been.
Yeah. So I was at the press conference today, and I have to say, man, as you know, I've been at a few Elks press conferences where new presidents and new general managers and there's been a lot of that over the last number of years. This was the most energetic and the most impassioned I've ever seen somebody be at a press conference where they accept a job. And we'll just give you a little bit of a taste of it here. It's a longer clip. It's about 45 seconds long, but I want you to listen and focus on the passion that he's bringing. I really feel like this is authentic from him. This is truly who he is. Now there will be PR guys out there, Struds, who will tell you that what you don't want to do on day one is overpromise, right? You don't want to do that on day one. You go in, you lay out your vision a little bit, but be subtle and be chill and don't overpromise on day one. A lot of times that strategy is taken. He definitely made a lot of promises up there today, but it was authentic. And in his heart, these are the things that he wants to do. Now, is he going to be able to do them all? I mean, probably not, but he's going to give everything he's got. Take a listen. Like I said, this is not something I've heard before in one of these press conferences.
I promise you, the revolving door is over. The revolving door that's existed at every level of this organization, from the president's office to the players on the field, where you've got 10,000 extra lockers in here because the beginning of the year, you got to cut 10 guys after 5 weeks, after 3 weeks, that is now over. We will build consistency here so that we can build a sense of family. I played here 14 years and we never missed the playoffs. The 1 year we got in trouble, we had 25 lockers in here and we were running through guys. You cannot win that way in this sport. Football's a tough sport. You need to have people who you can count on. You have to have people who you can rely on. And you cannot have that if you've got disposable people coming through your building.
Yeah, I mean, hallelujah. That all makes a tremendous amount of sense. Sometimes it can be easier said than executed, right? When things aren't going well and the pressure's on and you can't keep going with the same thing that isn't working. I mean, it's not like everybody else starts their tenure there wanting it to be that way, but this is a fundamental change that he clearly wants to make right from day one, Struds. And I do think that it's passionate and smart.
I think that whatever he says or said in this press conference, he will do. Now, will it work out? I don't know, but he is not, as far as I know of him, he's not someone that compromises. And this is the way it's going to be. And this is how I believe it should be done. And I will find people to execute it in this manner. So I think everything he said, he's going to do. Now, again, will it work out? I don't know, but it worked at U of A. I think that his record there, as far as, helping that program grow and just doing it the right way, I think he'll do it here at the Elks. And but give Pitt time, people. This isn't going to be fixed by the new GM or by announcing the GM or by announcing the coach or by announcing a new quarterback. There's a lot he has to work on. And he talked a lot about having to bring the fans back and engaging with those fans. I remember him playing against him in high school. He was playing basketball against our team us at Archbishop McDonald. That's a long time ago, but I remember that. And that stuck with me and keeps me thinking about the green and gold.
Maverick makes the point. He says he's blasting the previous guys, straight up. And I would agree with that, right? That's the Chris Jones way.
Oh.
I mean, Chris Jones, you talk about that revolving door. I mean, that was in so many ways, the way that he would go about his business. And Morris just feels like you need to develop that sense of family in there. He also talked a lot about the Eskimo way, the Elks way, whatever you want to call it, the double E way, and how that's going to be the foundation. It really leads me to believe, Struds, he's going to lean heavily towards people who come from that in his hires here, right? You've got Ed Hervey potentially floating around out there. Jason Moss, I know, is under contract, but hey, man, you never know. Right, if it's a promotion for Jason Moss to make a move, you just never know what a guy might do, right? Maybe your assistant GM now and head coach. Who knows? And I asked him that today. Do you think do you lean more towards guys that naturally understand that because they were part of it? And he said, no, you can learn that in other organizations. They didn't do it as good as we did it, but other guys know how to do this too. It screams to me like we're going to see a pile of green and gold alumni funneled back into this organization.
I'd be really interested to see a Chris Morris, Ed Hervey way, because Chris is very passionate and I believe stubborn. Ed is very passionate and stubborn. So I think there'd be some different ideas of way to do things. But I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but two very strong-willed people with ways of doing things, but both want the best for the organization. So I don't know what's going on with G-Roy. G-Roy Simon is, he seems to be up and coming as a GM, but I think, and just for those that didn't know, he wants to have it in place by November 24th, the GM, him being.
And he did say that G-Roy would be part of that process. He said G-Roy may well be the best person for this job, but we owe it to everybody to do an extensive search. So interesting day today. Love the energy, love the passion. He said a lot. He made a lot of promises, said a lot of big things. Good for him. And now he gets to work on trying to come through on all of those. But a real nice day today for the green and gold. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. We had lots of great action on the stream tonight. We appreciate it. We love you. Thanks for joining us live here on the show. And that'll transition us into Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. If you're looking to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or just want to understand your options, Maria Gallus with Maximal Mortgages has you covered. With those rates coming down, you can save thousands on your mortgage. Contact mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's Maria Gallus. Mortgagesbymaria.ca. There's Steve in his rightful place in the middle box. He's cut to the single shot.
Just trying something out, just seeing how it felt.
Nice. What do we got tonight,
I still have no idea how I did that.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's funny. Well, at least you didn't shut us off.
That's true. So, all right. Lots of great comments tonight. Let's get started just with CK Pond's comment on the game. Drai stepped up. Pickard timely saves, and the Oilers got a couple fights to let people know. And then
that's an interesting, Steve, just real quick, Struds. Word's going to be getting around about the Oil here, Struds. Like, I think they're near the top of the league in fighting majors, and not that they're killers or whatever, but other teams are at least aware of what's going on that front around the league. Like, it's not only does it benefit the Oilers for their own kind of internal feeling of taking care of their own business, but the idea that they're just an easy, relaxed night on the bingo card for every other team, they're probably not thinking that at this moment.
No, and I think that the Oilers, you've highlighted the lack of hits. I think they're trying to encourage the players, especially with McDavid out, to be harder to play against. And that shows itself in different ways. How do you defend out of the corner? How do you defend your blue lines? Blocking shots, getting hits, and then engaging other players. And there's some players on the Oilers like Emerson and Paul Colson that need to be playing on their toes and irritate the other team at times.
I like Emerson. I'm liking Emerson, but it's a slow build here. There's just the slight embers of a real good player there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Steve?
AJ says, if I'm Knobloch, I run it back. I don't change a thing, including Pickard. So what do you guys think about what changes, if any, in the lineup you'd make for the next game, and what goalie would you choose?
Yeah, I'd run Pickard. I'd run Pickard next game because you got back-to-backs and you want Skinner for the New Jersey Devils at home. That's a great challenge for Stu Skinner at home against Hughes and the New Jersey Devils. I'd be fine with giving Pickard another start, given that he's been decent here, Struds. You're playing both of them on the weekend, so why not give Stu the Devils?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And the only lineup change I'd make is if McDavid walks through the door, says he can play. Other than that, reward the team for a win. Honestly, just reward them for winning.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not fair to Derek Ryan or to Stetcher, but you cannot take players out after you win a game like that. I hate.
By the way, they finished with Arvidsson, Hyman, and Draisaitl together. So are you going back to that? Like,
no. I'm putting
Paul Colson back there.
Got to put him back there, because you need to give Nuge some love too, right? Nuge he's not there yet, right? His game isn't where it needs to be offensively. They need him, so you got to give him a chance with Hyman beside him.
Okay, Mike says, man, Pud Colson can hit hard, knockout punch. Did we know he could hit like that? Have we seen
He had
that?
a scrap in the minors against Raphael Lavoie, where they were throwing bombs at each other. It was a good fight. He threw lots of punches. I like how he ate a few tonight, and then, you know, some guys, you eat a few like that early in a fight, Struds, or you feel them coming at you furiously, and you can you buckle up pretty tight there. He just kind of waited and then got into it.
Yeah, so he has to play so that other people want to come after him, right? He's got to play hard. And so the fights, honestly, the next time he goes out there and runs someone wants to fight, I'd skate away. And just to get in their heads, like, let people know that I might fight sometimes, I might not fight all the time. I think that's kind of something that's so, you know, let's say we're playing Calgary or he's playing Calgary, you get a good hit on Rasmus Anderson and Kevin Ball comes over, like, no, I'm good, man. And just then run ball the next shift, right?
Yeah. He almost looked a little remorseful in the penalty box, didn't he? Don't you think?
It looked like he felt bad.
Don't feel bad.
Like it was a mutual agreement to fight, and you cut him. Don't feel bad. Like, just sit there and look big and look at their bench and like, do you have someone else that wants to come out here? Like, you can never show that. And I know, I get it. You don't want to hurt anybody, but it was a cut, nothing more.
Yeah.
Okay. Paulie says, do you think the dynamic changes when McDavid is out in regards to players playing more minutes and feeling more comfortable? I saw chemistry tonight. So Struds, you played with, go ahead, Shogger.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, Struds, one of the things that Knobloch said in his first availability after McDavid, we knew it was going to be a couple of weeks, was that quite often with McDavid in the lineup and the big guys eating up all those minutes, the other lines don't get as much time to play. They don't get as much ice time. And one of the benefits was going to be these guys would have this exact point that Paulie is making here. So you never want McDavid gone, but at the same time, Struds, you're not as top heavy. You got to get everyone involved.
Huge opportunity for each forward to make a case for why they should get more ice time when McDavid comes back. Like, this is a huge audition. And we saw some guys step up tonight, right? Philp got a chance. He wouldn't, if McDavid wasn't hurt, he's not even here, right? Let's all look at Paul Colson. I think Arvidsson. These guys are like, hey, I'm here and I want to play more. So now's the time. You have to bring it every single time you get your blades on the ice. So yeah, I don't think more chemistry. I don't know. I'm never going to say there's more chemistry without McDavid on the ice. I just can't. I cannot.
Yeah, I would the other lines getting more time to play together. The other lines with more time on the ice to play together a little bit is, I think, the point that Paulie was making.
Yeah, I get it. But I would trade all that chemistry to have McDavid in my line. Like, it just, I'm sorry. Like, and not to be disrespectful, Paulie, but like, you're not you need him. But you're right. But those guys are auditioning for more ice time when he comes back. They have, let's call 6 to 10 games. I don't know, somewhere in their Shogger to show that I want to be here and I want to play.
By the way, I put a tweet out after McDavid. They said it was going to be 2 to 3 weeks, speculating at the number of games. And I think I might have counted wrong. I think I said, including the Columbus game, it could be 12 to 13. And I think it's actually, if you include the Columbus game, kind of 11 to 12, maybe 10 to 11, just depending on whether he's back for the Minnesota game or not. So yes, I did send out a tweet with bad math in it. Steve.
I saw that. I was wondering. I didn't want to say anything.
Just shut up.
Stewart says, what will it take to get Nuge back to himself, to the level the Oilers need him if we're going to make another run? Just thoughts on that, Struds?
Long year last year and a short off season. And I think we have to give this guy time because they're all going to have those moments, right? So Nuge is smart, high hockey IQ, but I think it affects everyone differently. So does Nuge, have we seen him play better? Yeah, for sure. But it was different. So I think we got to be patient with Nuge, but doesn't mean we can't say he can't be better. But I think we got to be patient with the Nuge. And even I thought Evan Bouchard too, like I think he's looked a little sluggish to start the year. Ekholm, they all have, guys.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The one thing about Nugent Hopkins too, Struds, and Jordan Eberle was a little bit like this too. If you're not producing offense, like what attributes do you have in your game that can ignite you to bigger and better things? Like what can you lean on in your game that's going to get you some positive momentum and get you rolling, right? Like Nugent Hopkins is an understated player out there. And I'm not saying that he needs to be running around, but like other guys like Hyman, right? Hyman, it's all grind and hard and banging and crashing and this and that. Nuge's game, it's a little harder for him to pull himself out of these slumps because a lot of the times out there, he's He's out there, playing that more subtle game. Well, sometimes you got to bash through subtlety when it's not working, and that doesn't come naturally for him.
Okay, let's head out west for this one. So Matt Blom, our resident Canucks fan, chimes in and says, I'll tell you something, the Oil should be glad they released Desharnais. He's not doing well in Vancouver, and a lot of us being Canucks fans, want him benched. Have you guys been keeping your eye at all on Desharnais, and how he's looking and just how he's fitting in with that team compared to what his role was with the Oilers?
Yeah, Struds, I think the Oilers had him pegged, and I think they didn't want to overpay for him. And I think somewhat in the early going here, we're seeing some of that reason why, right? Like, I think they believed he was $1.5 million defenseman, give or take. And in free agency, sometimes people are just willing to pay. And he's a big, rangy guy and had a decent playoff, but healthy scratched here recently. And reports out of there haven't been great. So not great early returns for the big guy.
Yes, I've watched him, the Vancouver. Like I said, I watched a bit of that Vancouver Devils game. And not that I was just watching him, but I have watched some Vancouver games, and he is he's a 6 or a 5 that can moonlight up for stretches, but he is not a top 4, right? So he's a penalty killer, but they have other big guys there. They have Susie, they have Tyler Myers, they have Hronik and Quinn Hughes. So there's 4 already, right? So you got to be careful about what you're looking and asking for a guy to do. If he's pegged properly as a 6, he's going to serve you well and just quickly move the puck. So, and I think also for him, it's to move to a new city. It's not easy for them, but luckily they've been winning quite a bit, although that last game was not a good one at all.
Not pretty. Yeah. One more, Steve, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Okay, I'll let you choose the last one then. Do you want to talk about Hyman getting that monkey off his back, or Corey Perry's performance tonight being a good one?
Yeah, we talked Hyman a little bit, so bring some Corey Perry action at us.
Okay, so Ronnie Oceanfront just simply says that that Corey Perry was great tonight. So yeah, I just because we hadn't talked about him, and again, I was trick-or-treating. I missed most of the game, but yeah, thoughts on Corey Perry's game? Yeah,
I liked him, Struds. Like you made the point, just the perfect guy to be riding shotgun next to Noah Philp. And like Corey Perry is he's going to pick little moments through the year. He gets into the fight there. It was a couple games ago, he gets into the fight, picks a good spot. Tonight, he's in the right place at the right time. Like, he's not going to dominate like he used to, but he's going to find moments. And he did again tonight.
He just understands. He's got a lot of gamemanship, right? But he goes to the net. And he can bring along Philp's game and help him understand how to play. I'm telling you, if I was the Oilers, I'd put Paul Coles in and Philp right beside him in every single dressing room they touch.
Yeah.
And say, Corey, bring him out on the ice, work with them, show him video, be a coach, man. Reggie Dunlop. That's what they need, a player coach right beside those two.
Dr. Nusty Dielson says Perry immediately grabbed that puck for Philp. Class act. Noah Philp with his first NHL point tonight. Corey Perry grabbed him that puck. So great point there by Dr. Nasty Dielson. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Maria Gallus and Mortgages by Maria. Time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. From air polish or cleanings to advanced treatments, Gallery Dental offers that full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy and beautiful. Their team dedicated to providing personalized care with the latest technology to ensure you get the best treatment possible. Contact them at GalleryDentalYEG.com. That is GalleryDentalYEG.com. What do you got tonight for us, Struds?
Well, the captain of the Canadian team for Four Nations Cup had a great game tonight. He scored in the third period, tied up against the Ducks, and then overtime steals the puck, goes in on a breakaway and scores for them to win halfway through the overtime period. So Sidney Crosby, 2 goals tonight against the Ducks, and soon to be captain of Canada for Four Nations Cup.
I don't disagree with you. Don't throw that in my face like I disagree with you. You can't tell me that I disagree. This is not going to be a thing until December. We're not doing this until December. By the way, Mike Johnson and Craig Button, if you haven't seen it yet on tsn.ca, they do this thing where they basically discuss their way through Team Canada's lineup and what it's going to look like. It's really good. I was really proud of our guys. Even our editors out there did a great job. Really they put these cool little graphics together and stuff. Definitely worth seeing. But interesting to note, Struds, they both agreed, like 100%, they agreed Sidney Crosby was the third-line center on that game and not playing wing in the top 6. So I thought that was kind of interesting, like a good spot for him to understand his role and do his thing.
I think the lines that start might not be the ones that end in that tournament.
It never
we'll
is.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, good point by you. They had Brad Marchand on his wing, by the way, which makes sense. Marchand has had success in international play next to 87. Okay, Struds, good stuff tonight, buddy. Thank you kindly. You can go wolf down the rest of those arrow bars before bed.
Oh, no, I got to go for a walk, power walk or something. Not feeling good about myself.
I'm gonna try the 16-hour fast. I had a piece of pizza at 8 o'clock, and that was it. And I'm gonna try till noon tomorrow. So I'll let you know how it goes, buddy.
Yeah, makes sense. Good luck.
Thanks, pal. The Dr. Carpy in with this fantastic podcast as always. Let's all show some support with a like. Thanks, Dr. Carpy. Happy Friday, everyone, and have an awesome weekend. We echo those sentiments. Steve, great job tonight, my friend. Thank you kindly. Zuby, that was a mediocre save, bud. We love you. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including our title sponsor, Play Alberta. We'll be back after the Oilers and Flames Battle of Alberta Sunday night for our classic Sunday night pod. Talk to you then.